All right, guys. Well, listen. This has obviously been fun. We saved a little time at the end of the show for our one last thought question because this is kind of a good one. These just come out of thin air sometimes because, as you know, this last year we used to always give like an inspirational quote, or we would give our thoughts on something going on in the world or that sort of thing. And I just wanted to change it up a little bit, so I thought give you guys a chance to learn a little bit about us. So this year, with one last thought, what I do is I ask a question to our esteemed panel, and hopefully they give a nice answer, whether it makes us laugh, cry, whatever. But Handy, we're going to start with you, my friend. Our question this week is, if you could only have one meal, listen to one album, CD, whatever you want to call it, and only watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would they be? So, Handy, let's start with your one meal. What would your one meal be that you would eat for the rest of your life if that's all you could eat?
Oh, my one meal that I would eat for the remainder of my days. Probably a very good bulgogi with some steamed rice and a side order of the pickled radishes with a big heaping helping of kimchi and with a little kalbi ribs thrown on the side.
Okay. Now, see, I've never really, on the meal part, I've never had bulgogi that I know of, and I've only had kimchi once or twice. So I'm interested. Like, is that something you picked up palate wise, like when you were overseas in Korea, or is that something stateside that was all your?
Yes, sir. And then I found there's a phenomenal place in Centerville, Virginia called Honey Pig. They're open 24 hours, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's the giant tables. They can seat up to 10, 12 people. They cook everything in the hot plate in the middle of the table. It's fresh and hot when you get it. And I love it. It's expensive as hell. It is worth the money. There's actually another place in the same shopping center, like 3 shops down, that has this fried chicken and some kind of sauce. I love that too. And then I picked up on the BB across like less than a mile on the other side of the highway from Honey Pig is where I found Tina and I's favorite wing place, BBQ chicken and beer.
There you go.
Make the absolute best Korean fried chicken I have ever had.
Fantastic. All right, so we got your food out of the way. So if you could listen to just one album for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Quincy Jones. By the way, rest in peace to the late great Quincy Jones. Passed away a couple of weeks ago. One of the greatest producers ever produced the still to this day #1 selling album on the face of the planet. Some 42 years after it was released, in the name of Michael Jackson's Thriller. Give me a second, and I will find the album name. It's the same album that had the Sanford and Son theme on it. You Got It, Bad Girl. That was the name of it. It came out 1970 something or other. It's got songs on there that were composed by Bill Cosby. It's got the Sanford and Son theme. It's an amazing album, and I've been listening to that album since I was about 6 years old, and I still have a playlist to this day.
Nice, very nice, good job. Yeah, who doesn't love the dude? Like you said, Thriller, all the other stuff he's produced, Off the Wall. Like
not to mention Back on the Block that introduced us to Mr. Tevin Campbell.
No, that's true. Like I said, Secret Garden, that whole getting Barry White, Elda Barge, all those guys on the song. Yeah, we can go on and on. Quincy obviously was the man, great producer, and finally. One movie.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Before we go to the movie, all right. Because the Back on the Block, that Quincy Jones album came out in like 91. You know how many times I would be at a party, a campus party, dancing with somebody and hit them with that Barry White in their ear, but tell me a secret. Man, come on now.
I'm not going to lie to you. I knew who Barry White was, right? And my dad had Barry White albums, so I would listen occasionally. But it wasn't until I got to about 18, 19, where I had a buddy of mine that I was sharing an apartment with, actually out in DeKalb. And he put on Barry White's Greatest Hits the one day, and I went, oh, this is the guy I've heard as a child. And from that day forward, just literally, I've been a huge fan, because you're just like, this is the greatest baby-making music I've ever heard in my life. And I'm telling you, like, just every song deals with sex or this or that. And like, he had one song where he's talking about taking off brassieres, and I'm just like, this guy is incredible. Like, how do you not enjoy this sort of thing? But it was just Barry White was the man.
Well, it wasn't just that. It wasn't just not to get off track with the
No,
question here, but it wasn't just that. It was also the orchestral pieces he did.
well, yeah, I mean, he had a whole
The Love
orchestra. Yeah,
Unlimited orchestra.
yeah,
Nobody was doing that back then in R&B
no,
music.
no, not at all. No, I mean, he really was. Barry is such a phenomenal artist. May he rest in peace as well, Mr. Barry White. And finally, Andy, one movie for. And again, we were going to get to this. I was going to say Coming to America just for a joke, but honestly, one movie for the rest of your life. What would it be, Andy?
You really sat there and looked at me with a straight face and asked me that question. Simi, how could you ask me that question? You know what I'm going to say. We are not royalty. We are just regular American students. Of course, Coming to America is my favorite. You must be out your damn mind. Coming to America, the best movie ever. That's right. He did say Coming to America was a great movie. Mike Tyson was 58 years old when they fought.
yeah, Jake Paul. Yeah, exactly. that's another thing entirely. We do a whole show on that fight. I think it's still buffering. Have we got the end of the fight yet? I think Netflix is still trying to figure that out. Still buffering on that one, huh?
Netflix got a lot of viewers out of that.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my god, that was something else.
That is hands down. I could watch that movie on repeat and never get tired.
Get tired? Yeah. No.
I didn't watch it. I never talk about it.
Oh, Tina's never seen Coming to America.
I don't like boxing in any way, shape, or form. So for me, it was like, yeah, I don't ever watch that. And then my phone just blew up during the whole thing. I didn't need to watch it. Everybody else was talking about it.
Everybody was commenting on it, right? Like, and how they weren't watching it, even though they were trying to. Like, yeah, it was great.
Tina, my heart was almost broken. I thought you were saying you had never watched Coming to America. I was like, I really was going.
Yeah, I think Candy was sad. I think he shed a tear. That one single tear that comes down the middle of your eye. Like, I think Andy was going to shed that when you said that.
Yeah, like Randall on This Is Us, where he's always got the single tear.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, This Is Us.
I could still make him cry, Nick.
No, you probably could, and maybe you.
I do not think Coming to America is Eddie Murphy's best movie.
Oh, I don't either.
In my mind, it's Trading Spaces.
Gotcha.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that for me, my favorite, because that hit me at a time where, like, when Trading Places came out, I was, in middle school. When Coming to America came out, I was older. The jokes hit, and I didn't have to go, what did you mean? And then 3 years later, something happened. And I go, oh, okay, I get it now. Like,
right. Yeah.
My dad took me to see Trading Spaces because of Dan Aykroyd.
No, Dan Aykroyd, yeah. No,
yeah,
great
he looked
film.
At the person, he's like, she's not 16. I don't care. I'm an adult. She's going in with me.
There, right. You had no choice, Tina. You were getting dragged to the movie. It's okay.
I got dragged to a lot of movies I shouldn't have seen. He also took me to see Platoon when I was 8.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is.
Well, maybe not 8. I might have been like 12. I think it was.
Yeah, you're. Platoon. That's funny. No, I got you. That's funny. But all right, so Tina, you're next. Thank you, Andy, for that nice little list you got composed for yourself there. Tina, how about you? One meal, one. So we'll start with the meal first. What one meal for the rest of your life would you, if you could only have one, what would it be?
Okay, I'm gonna pull the lawyer thing. I need you to define for me what you mean by a meal. Do you mean like just one dish, or do you mean like an actual meal? Because my answer is different.
Right. I guess whatever a meal. Well, I mean, I wasn't going to go like the Clinton. See, why do you guys complicate my life? I'm telling you, because real quick, and this is not, I wasn't like angry or anything. When Sean and I were talking earlier, he threw a question at me, and I went, damn, I got to rephrase this, don't I? Because Sean was like, well, if you're stranded on that, because at first it was like, if you're stranded on an island, what one movie, and Sean's not even with, well, the batteries could wear out on the CD player. And I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm changing the question. I'm not going to get into something right. I'm not going to get into about why there's no electricity on the island or anything like that. So I was like, all right, let me rephrase the question. Okay, whatever a meal means to you in terms of like if it's an entree, a side dish, and whatever it means to you, what would be one meal that you could eat the rest of your life? Let's just go with that.
Cacio de pepe for my beginning little snack like the Italians do.
Right.
And then tacos would have to be involved because I
Okay.
do love tacos.
Sure.
And then to come from my heritage, because I do have to give props to my saintly great grandmother who made these amazing, I don't think they're called hot cross buns, but they're the buns that are round and they're butter on top. And it was some recipe that she got from her great grandmother in Germany. And no one in the family can make them.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Nobody
That's pretty good.
Starter. Nobody has a recipe. Nobody knows what she did. She had the same starter for 50 years. And now I can't find them anywhere. Hot cross buns are probably the closest thing I can get to them. And so that would be my meal.
All right, cool. Now, what about? And I kind of felt like I knew where you were going when this on this next part, but again, the one CD or album that you would listen to for the rest of your life.
You all can see him back there, Mr. Lord Bowie himself.
Yeah,
the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Simply because that album, one, is phenomenal, and Moon Age Daydream, and as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best songs from when they started doing what some people called like glam rock or all of the new the romantics and all of that. But also because Bowie was the start for most of the bands that I loved in the 80s and the 90s. They were always talking, and huge Duran Duran fan. I've seen them twice in concert in the last 3 years. And just the bands that like them and Wham and Spandau Ballet and Aha and all those guys that I listened to in the 80s, a lot of them give big, huge props to David Bowie. So
100%.
Gotta go back to the beginning with Mr. Bowie. And that's the reason why I have the picture on there. So for people who can't see on it, it just say, "We Are Heroes." I got it in Spain, of all places.
Right.
So that would
right. Yeah. I think you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be my album. I would never get tired of Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars.
Sounds good. And then, of course, Sean says you love Valley Girl movies. So what would be your movie for the rest of your life that you could, if you could only watch one, what would it be?
I'm going to go with a comedy, and it's because I had this one and I played it so much in the VHS, I had to replace it a couple of times. And you will hear me say it once in a while, every once in a while. I try and keep it on the down low. Because if I say 9 alarm, everybody thinks I'm saying no alarm. And if you know what that quote is from, that is from Cutting Edge with Maura Kelly and DB, what's his name?
Sweeney, DB Sweeney.
Topic. That's
Topic. Yeah. You know what?
The T, powerful, everything. And then the big B.
No, I actually like Cutting Edge. I have seen that movie a few times. I love Maura Kelly. I love DB Sweeney. That is a good film. Nice, that is pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. So real quick, Delilah had chimed in. I had asked, Delilah's off this week, but I had asked her if she wanted to put in her answers, and she goes, "Man, I can't narrow it down to a book or a movie, but I can narrow it down to food." So for the rest of her life, Delilah would eat peanut butter and jelly, which it's hard to argue with that as well, because who doesn't like a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich? So that was from Delilah. Let me go ahead and get into what I would do. And my favorite meal is one I actually haven't had in a very long time because, again, as everybody knows, I had surgery, all that good stuff. I'm trying to drop weight. A double cheeseburger with fries and a chocolate shake has always been a favorite meal of mine. And there's one particular place that I would get it from that is still in existence. I haven't been there probably in a couple of years. But shout out to Jeff's Red Hots here in Chicago on Cicero Avenue. I don't know what it is about it, but every time I would go there, I would just smell the burger cooking, and I had to have one. And I would just literally get a double cheese plain because that's how flavorful and tasty it was. You didn't even need to put anything on it. I'd get a pickle on the side, throw me a large fry, and a chocolate shake because it just completed the whole thing. That if I could only eat one thing the rest of my life, it would absolutely be that double cheeseburger fry and a chocolate shake. For my CD, and people probably be like, because I was thinking about this honestly, like, what CD could I get that would give me a different mix of music if I could only listen to one for the rest of my life? So some of you will be familiar with this. It's the Less Than Zero soundtrack. Now, the reason why I picked this is because if you look at the different artists that are on this album, you get everything. You've got the Bengals who do Hazy Shade of Winter. You got Poison doing the cover of Kiss's Rock and Roll All Night. You got Aerosmith doing the Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu. You got LL Cool J doing Going Back to Cali. You have Roy Orbison doing Life Fades Away. I mean, like, this CD just has so much different mix of artists and music that it's my favorite soundtrack for one. And if I had to listen to only one the rest of my life, I would totally dig on this whole thing. You get the rap, you get even Slayer. Slayer does an Agata Davida on this soundtrack. So I mean, it covers everything. And to me, it's just a phenomenal soundtrack. Some of you may know the movie, some of you may not. You know, it starred Andrew McCarthy, Robert Downey Jr. when he was in his drug phase, which was kind of bizarre because he's playing a drug-addled guy out of his mind. And Jamie Gertz, who was Jamie Gertz was one of my 80s crushes because I loved her and everything she did. But yeah,
wasn't she in the Lost Boys too?
Yeah, she was in the Lost Boys. Yes, exactly. Like, believe me, any 80s movie that Jamie Gertz was in, I saw multiple times. I'll just put it that way. She was absolutely gorgeous.
That was me and James Spader.
See, right. Well, he was the bad boy. James Spader definitely is like 80s. If you look at going, who's the bad boy of the 80s? And I think James Spader in every movie, Pretty in Pink, Less Than Zero, he was the bad guy. What was it? He did a Tough Turf. Well, he was actually a good guy at Tough Turf, but like he always played the bad guy. He was really good at it. Like James Spader was one of those guys you hated him, and you just knew you hated him. And then for movie, this is kind of thinking about this too. The movie I could watch over, and I do. I watch this movie about every 6 months. Is the movie Miracle, based on the 1980 U.S. men's hockey team. It's just one of those things where if I could only watch this one movie the rest of my life, it's uplifting. You know, it happened in real life, so it's a true story for one. So you get to see how a lot of this unfolded during the season where it's the college kids come together to try to beat the Russians who nobody had beaten 20 years. Essentially, like the whole story's great. Like it has the drama, but it's all true. Then at the end, spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't know the ending, USA in the semifinal game of the 1980 Olympics goes ahead and beats the Russians and then goes on to win the gold medal. It's a great movie. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's a movie, like I said, I watch it every 6 months just to smile and just to kind of be uplifted a little bit because I just feel it's like that. So that would be my pick. Those are my picks for what I would do the rest of my life. I could just do that one thing. Well, before we get out of here, a couple of quick things. Thursday nights at 9. So Tina, I'm going to let you go ahead and give a little plug for the Mile High Minute. What you guys got going on this Thursday?
This Thursday, we're going to discuss the game a bit more in depth. We're going to do our usually good, bad, and ugly. And I'm going to talk to the guys, and we're going to talk about our players of the week. And we will also talk about the games going forward. So Thursdays, they're usually on. It's at Thursday at 9 p.m. Sometimes we have to move things around, but it's Thursday this week at 9 p.m. Mile High Minute. It'll be on YouTube, and I'll post it up, and you can check us out.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Turn into that. Tina and her buddies was like 3 or 4 of you guys, right? That do the.
Yeah. The guys I usually hang out with on Sundays when we're watching the game
right.
at the bar. Also going to plug the bar. If you're in Chicago and you are a Bronco fan or you know someone who's a Bronco fan, we will be at Almost Home. It's in Wrigleyville. Cool bar. Good food. Come and join us.
I'm not going to lie. I may join you that last week for the Chiefs game. I think that's the one game, if I could get to one to watch with you, it would be that one. So don't be surprised if you see me in Week 18 at Almost Home to watch the Chiefs and the Broncos with you. Yeah, that would be the one to watch.
Or the back, depending on when the Bears play. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right, because that game they have as the to be announced with the Packers. So who knows what they're going to do? I assume if we're way out of it by then, it'll be a 12:00 game. Nobody will care. Handy, how about you? This week in Georgia football, what do you got coming up this week or anything? Give you a quick shout,
Well, yeah, we, my buddy Colin P. and I, as I refer to him, Colin P. from the DMV, as he lives up in the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, right? And the Delaware folks felt left out because they weren't part of DMV, so they started calling the area Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. Anyway, he lives up in that area on the Virginia side of the DMV. We talk about the University of Georgia football each and every Monday. We did have a lot of fun talking about mollywopping the Tennessee Volunteers. That's just a joke between me and our behind-the-scenes producer, Mr. Sean Spencer. Mollywopping the Volunteers on Saturday. This coming week, we're playing UMass. It's basically just kind of a the conference schedule is over type deal, but we have a lot of fun. We do have a lot of fun on the show. I do have there's a guy. Yep, you better believe it, buddy. Oh man, and Anthony tries to throw a pass past Sean, and he picks it off, and that one is incomplete. So man, we also have a character by the name of Reverend Red and Black that likes to stop by every now and again and give his 2 cents and game predictions. So if you got nothing going on Monday, although most of you are watching Monday Night Football when we're on, we are on YouTube. You can catch us on Zag Niff Productions. Not to pull away from, we're part of the Let's Talk Football family, so I could say that. And and you see the cool studio, so we do things. We do like Shay say we do something before two something. Hey, what you say? Hold on a second. Yes, Mr. President, are you here yet? I think the Broncos are still beating up on the Falcons. You need to hurry up and get here. Okay, that's all I got. I'm done.
All right, thank you, sir, for that. Again, I currently don't have anything else to promote, but I will just say thank you guys all for tuning in this week. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being in the chats. Thank you guys so much. As always, you can catch us on Tuesdays. Yes, I mean, Sean and I are probably, we'll try to get an episode soon of Truth Be Told on. Sean and I are very busy gentlemen, and whenever we can, we do like to do a Truth Be Told. So look for that as well. I don't have a date for when we'll do a next one, but hopefully soon we'll be able to get an episode in the can, as they say. So again, thank everybody for watching. Thank you all for this week. Again, next week, please tune in. All 4 of us will be here. Delilah will be back. It'll be another great show, and who knows what Handy will come up with next week to make us all laugh. So for Anthony Handy himself, for Tina Winter, I am Nick Rosario. Everybody have a great week. See you next time.
One more time for the people.
Nicole, what you think?
It's in his name.
Christian McCaffrey. The calves were too much for his tendons, and he ran them to the ground.